That's like every bottle at my house. As it gets to about that point, and then I'm like, well, there's not much left. I'll have something else. And so then I end up with like a ton of bottles with that much booze in them.
How much? Let me see.
like just a
smidge. Like 4 fingers worth at the bottom of the bottle.
Yeah. All right, are we recording on everything?
That's when Nick come over to Nick's house. We're gonna have a jungle juice party.
Yeah, we can have
In
just
the
a
bathtub.
little bit of a lot of different
We're just
kinds
gonna
of
put them all in there.
Yes. To answer your question, we are recording. Do that. We'll keep it in. Fuck it. It's off topic, baby.
It is off topic. You're seeing
raw and uncut.
Sausages made to be a hacky open mic host.
Oh my god.
Are we knocking? Oh man, we're really
we decorated.
We did.
Yeah.
Because
Let's say
it's
this.
seasonal. We decorated.
You better subscribe.
Yeah.
On YouTube, Spotify, Apple.
Yeah, hit that like button. Smash that like button.
Smash the button. Caress the button. Smash it again. But most importantly, you're
Trace the alphabet with your tongue on the like button.
He's going way back on him right now. I don't know what that means.
Oh my god.
No, so you know what? Let's just we'll address the elephant in the room. We just got done cutting the holiday episode.
Yep.
And it was super fun. It was fun. I think I apologize to Alex Falcone, but I think you've been unseated as my favorite episode of Size 10 that I've been on.
And we did it with no outside help.
Nope.
All us.
That's kind of untrue. Paul did. My boyfriend did
Paul
too.
definitely helped us with
decorating.
Yeah.
And he wrapped your presents as well.
Oh, did he wrap?
Yeah.
I wrapped.
That's why they were so good.
Myself.
It's got
did that myself.
Got that magic touch.
I bought the tape with my own money.
You practice this at home. This is exactly how you opened up the episode.
I love it so much.
I didn't say with my own money on that.
Oh,
one.
that's
I think
true.
I
That's
did
true.
mention the tape before, but I bought it with my own money.
Right.
Scotch. I bought the specific.
Oh, you got brand. Mine
brand
is
name, dude. Joanne's Fabrics and Crafts, dude.
Oh my god.
Yo, can I drop some knowledge on you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Scotch tape. Why do you think they call it that?
They
got the little
3M product.
They got the little plaid thing on it. This is like a
Scottish tape?
Is it Scottish?
So the explanation that I heard was that so Scotch tape, is it good tape? Y'all think it's good?
Decent.
It's decent. It's good for what you want it for. It serves a purpose.
Well, apparently that's exactly what they thought about the Scots, because I guess supposedly way back in the day, Scotch was like a signifier of just kind of not mediocrity, but you're it's not really that good, but it just kind of it works for what you need it to work for.
When you want it, that's what you want.
Yeah.
I feel like that about Scotch whiskey and honestly Tweed, and I think those are the only two things they've ever made.
Shots fired. I love it.
Shots fired. That's white on white.
I love
European on other European.
I think the Scotch have been certifiably white they're not like the Italians. Yeah.
The Italians, dude. The Italians were in the Axis powers. That's about as white as you could be.
Oh man, this is a word that I am not going to be able to pronounce. I'm going to make a fool of myself. Here you go. The use of the term Scotch in the name was a pejorative. I do know that word. That means bad.
Pejorative. Yeah, that means rude.
It says meaning parsimonious.
Offense was taken.
Parsimonious.
That's a kind of orange.
In the 20s and 30s. And yeah, I guess Richard Drew was testing his first masking tape, and he was like, yeah, I don't know, that's kind of like a Scotch tape, I guess. And everyone's like, oh, damn! And he's like, yeah, let's call it that. So,
was he a British guy? Was he really throwing shade?
Richard Drew's is a England ass name.
Yeah, he does sound like he's from the Commonwealth.
The Scots did not invent Scott tape, is what it says. But anyway, enough about tape.
Good enough.
We're gonna go just with the classics.
We're gonna talk.
What are we talking about?
About
Nick?
something that we talk about often on this podcast.
Yep.
But this is an off topic.
So let's.
So
do you want to know how I fell down this rabbit hole?
Let's introduce it. We're gonna talk about the Ford Maverick.
The Ford Maverick.
We're talking about trucks, guys. This is why the fuck you tune into this.
You know, part of why I talk about trucks so often is because when I walk to the studio, I do pass a Ford dealership. That's like a small giving away.
This is true.
That's fair.
And I'm not gonna lie, that
you've
fact,
talked a lot about Ford trucks.
the fact that I had to
that
walk
makes
by
sense
to
now.
get to work for like a couple years, I had to literally walk past all of like whatever their new hot thing was, and I was always like, oh, and I'd like open it up or whatever if it was during the day.
Yeah.
And like take a look. First impression, not a huge fan of the Ford Maverick. I probably took a picture and made fun of it.
Yeah, I think with me.
Yeah, with you. And then I was served some ads for it recently. I was watching Hulu, and they just were like, this show you're watching is brought to you by the Ford Maverick. And then I was just like, let's dig into this a little bit. Let's like look at it a little bit. Because they said it was a hybrid. And I was like, oh.
That is, so I want to talk about your criteria, because you've been discussing getting a new vehicle for a while.
Yes. Okay, I have.
This
This is not an ad, by the way. We are not paid to shill for the Maverick, for Ford.
Oh, once I give my opinion, they'll know that.
I am a Ford booster. I bang with Ford, but like only pre-2004.
No, I'm a Toyota boy all the way through on the trucks.
I want to be a Toyota boy, but I also
you live close to a Ford dealership.
I live close to a
and
Ford
you're susceptible
dealership,
to marketing.
and I'm susceptible to marketing. You're very, very good, Terry. Also, the MSRP on this thing, they start at just under 20,000 for your base model.
Yeah.
So your highest, your Lariat model, it's like
The
30.
Lariat?
Yeah. What is it, Lariat or Lariat?
It's like
It's,
the
Lariat.
thing that you like
I'm calling it a
roast
Lariat.
cow with
If
Lariat.
I get it, I'm calling it a Lariat.
A Lariat.
Lariat all the day. All the day. That's
day.
all the
Yep.
day.
You know what?
Today,
You know what? I feel like that's actually very appropriate for like the Ford crowd, which I am a member of. But like, if you went into some like just like body shop and they're like, "Oh yeah, you got the Lariat version,
You
didn't
got
you?
the Lariat, didn't you?
Hey, check it out! This guy's got a Ford Lariat."
He thinks he's luxurious or something. You think you
And
better
then you're
than
like,
us?
you're like, yeah. You took the words right out of my mouth. It's actually pronounced Lariat. It's like, you're one of them book reading boys, aren't you?
You've been reading a bunch of books.
Yeah, you learned that in a book. I had a book once.
So I used to be a Ford. I banged with the Ford the Ranger for quite a while, and Terry rocks the Ranger right now. This is very similar to Terry's Ranger, but way better gas mileage and brand new.
There's some things that are not similar, but I will hold my feedback for a moment.
It's about the same size. It's a little lower.
It is. And that is a good point about the price that you made earlier. Like, I've read some reviews and watched some videos about the Maverick.
Yeah.
Because I like cars and I like trucks. And it does top out at like 36 grand. That's
So
like the
check this out.
most that you can pay for a Maverick.
A stock XL, 20K. XLT, which is what you buy.
Right.
No one buys the XL unless it's a fleet vehicle.
Yeah,
Right.
the U.S. government buys the XL.
Yeah. If you work for Parks and Rec, they're putting you behind the wheel of an XL.
Yeah.
XLT starts at 22.2, and then the Lariat starts at 25.5. So,
Thank you.
and that's like, that's
But
the
then
stock.
you can spec the Lariat up, the Lariat. You can spec that bad boy up. You probably get like a Bose sound system.
I'm going to dress up one for myself, and then I'm going to see if you guys can guess where I come in at.
I got mine to 32 when I dressed it up this afternoon. Now, here are the points that I want. I've been trying. When you look at a car, you're just like, all right, what do you want? Here are the things I look at: tank distance.
Yeah.
Like how far can I get on a full tank?
Because that's one of your big complaints with your current car.
Yes. I can get about 3 and some change on a 13-gallon tank.
Okay.
I can get about that far. I want to say maybe it's 11-gallon tank. It's really small.
Yeah, I thought you couldn't even get that
It's like
far.
an 11. I
thought it was like less than 300 miles on it.
No, it's over 300, depending how you drive and if you put it into eco mode or not. That literally makes a difference if you're just like going.
Yeah.
But if you this is a complaint of mine. Why does it reset to normal mode every time I shut it off? Like it should just continue the settings that I was driving with when I last drove.
That would make sense. I don't understand.
But it resets to the default, which is normal.
Yeah.
Acceleration, which I only use if I'm like passing somebody. I'll just like kick it
my
into
Tacoma
normal.
only has one mode, and that's drink all the gas. So
what does yours get? Like 16?
Oh, it gets Anywhere from 16 to 24 on the highway,
Okay.
depending on the conditions.
So
like if I'm driving into the wind, 15, 16. But I've gotten coming from Bend back to Portland because there's a decent amount of downhill but some uphill, and the speed limit's like 60.
yeah.
I've gotten 24 both times I've done that trip.
Okay. Downhill but what'd you get on the way up?
No, even going up Mount Hood, but because the speed limit's like 60, you're doing like 50 to 60 the whole way.
Yeah.
You run like 24, or I do.
Okay.
And that's the best I've ever gotten.
Because mine gets like between 24 and like 30.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that range.
Generally, I average about 20 to 21 on the highway and about 17 to 18 in town.
So this gets close to 42 is what they're saying.
Yeah. But caveat to that, that's only for the hybrid motor, which is only available in two-wheel drive, which
Right.
is front-wheel drive.
Not a problem for your boy over here.
I know. And see Terry rocks the two-wheel drive all the
fucking
time.
right.
And I've had two-wheel drive cars in the past. I honestly mine's like this weird all-wheel. I don't fully understand it, honestly. But for living in the Pacific Northwest, I think I'll be all right with two-wheel drive.
And it is front-wheel drive, which honestly helps you avoid some of the issues of a two-wheel drive pickup truck. Because a two-wheel drive pickup truck is usually rear-wheel drive, where the drive wheels have zero weight over.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's
you gotta,
the
like,
easiest
push it
car
back
in
there.
the world to spin.
It was a little icy this morning. I'm not going to
It
lie. When I
was.
pulled into the U.S. Bank parking lot to make a deposit, I
Tokyo Drift.
I broke them loose a little bit. And I've done this enough. Like, I've driven in, like, bad conditions. Like, I don't freak out.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I was sliding, and I'm like, oh, I bet the person in that SUV is fucking terrified right now. And I was like, eh. And then I, like, slid into a spot, and it was like, I got out, it was a little cockeyed, and I was like, yeah, that's a nice little
Slid
dismount.
right into the. You were like those
Love
those
it.
guys. Every now and then you see the little YouTube clip of a guy like handbrake turn parking like a little car.
Into
a,
Is that how you felt?
tight
You're just
ass
like,
space.
Yeah, dude.
And I was just like, yeah, man, I know what I'm doing over here. Don't worry about it.
Well, I had just written this car off completely, and then
Yeah.
I looked at, like, you can get about 500 miles on a full tank, a 13-gallon tank,
Pretty damn good.
which is pretty far. I was really that like was turning my crank for sure. And like I kind of want a truck, but I don't want a big dumb truck. Like, I literally yesterday saw a dude, like, we were laughing at it. We were eating dinner and we were looking out the window, and we saw this guy try to park his like 2-stroke, I don't know, it's like a dumb huge truck, like
Just like a big diesel pickup.
a big
or something.
diesel pickup at the Cascade Station.
Okay.
And he was just trying to park it, and it was next to me, so I was a little concerned. Like, I'm like, are you gonna scrape me? And I was just like, all right, let's take bets. How many points do you think it's gonna take for him to get into this single space? There wasn't that many parking spaces.
Oh, I've
so
definitely had to do a 3-point
And he-
turn to get into a normal
Dude,
parking
homeboy
space.
did 4 and then got embarrassed and left.
Good.
Because he didn't
Good.
do it.
Let me go out on a limb here. Washington plates on that truck.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
Like,
Stay in Vancouver and pay your fucking taxes.
right. I love that. So, like, that's kind of been like even the stuff I was talking smack on your truck and the Tundra. Like, if I lived in Montana,
my truck
maybe
is
I'd do a
long and
Tundra.
ridiculous and kind of hard to park sometimes.
And I remember that being a little annoying in my old Ranger, which had a little bit of a lift on it, and it was the long bed, but like not the crew cab.
The extended cab, like
It had the bullshit seats you could pull down.
Yeah, was it like Terry's?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
the
Terry's.
extended
Yeah.
cab.
It's like
That's like what they all were back then, right?
yeah.
They didn't make. Did they ever make a 4-door
So,
of that
so the
generation
super
Ranger?
cab for that
No.
Ranger is
Yeah.
the suicide doors.
Yeah,
Okay.
it had the suicide doors, and that didn't come until like
Which
99 or 2000 or something like that.
I wanted that, but I got too good of a deal on mine. And
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
all right,
okay.
as long as I have the space in the back, because I didn't want to do the full-on bench seat and sacrifice like not having a dog in the front seat.
Yeah.
They made those Rangers for like a long time, didn't they? Make like
Great
the
truck.
same truck from like the
Great
90s
truck.
to like 2000.
And it was a Mazda too. Mazda had some of
the
them
B
too.
series.
Yeah, the B series, and I saw one the other day. I think it was like a B2300, which is like the more premium option. They nailed it. Like it bums me out so much that like trucks have gone the way that they have because
Into this.
yeah. Well, we'll talk about this in a moment, but just like the work truck is it's such a bummer that like Americans are known for like big dumb trucks, because trucks in and of themselves, I believe, are truly utilitarian vehicle, right?
Yeah.
Now I think like 99% of people that drive trucks these days like do not take advantage, and I'm excluding present company excluded, because like we've talked about you doing like car camping and building out the bed and all that type of stuff. I'm just like, man, I wish that there was some sort of curbing of like the excessive bloat of trucks. I'll tot out there.
Yeah, no, trucks have definitely gotten gigantic. I do wish they'd kind of go back to having an option that's like the smaller, like the old Ranger.
And they've now they've traded it out for the Transits and the ProMaster City, the vans. Like that's what every single person for the most part that had a work truck back in the day. Now they either have one of those, or they have a big truck.
Yeah,
and it's just a bummer that they've like. I learned to drive stick on an Isuzu Pup. Okay,
what is like, an Isuzu Pup?
Yeah, it was the Chevy Love.
The Chevy Love truck. Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
I want to see that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've told this story on the show before.
I learned how to drive stick on a Nissan truck, whatever the Nissan the little truck was.
And my dad had a '99 Tacoma that he still owns, and that's what I learned to drive a stick on.
And it was called the Pup, the Isuzu Pup. It stood for pickup. Like, here's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, I know that one.
Yeah, it was. You may know it as the Experience. It was the maintenance vehicle at the camp that I used to work at.
It was so little.
And it was called the Experience because at one point in its lifetime, someone had inadvertently jammed a copy of Jimi Hendrix, The Experience, into the tape deck. So it was the only thing that you could listen to. And it was the type of tape deck where you couldn't llisten to radio with a tape in it. So you were stuck.
So anytime you were in that, it was either quiet or Voodoo Child.
Or, yeah. But it was like, this thing was a little four-banger, all-wheel drive. And like
it was all-wheel drive.
All-wheel drive.
This thing had nut to it. Like
wow.
It wasn't like selectable.
It was a truck, so it was four-wheel.
Okay.
But like
that's great.
But if
that's a cool little truck.
And I'm telling you, the roof height on this, you can kind of see in that photo. Like I could see clear over the roof.
Yeah,
it was below like my neck.
No, that looks like it's like the old like the Ram 50, which was the same as the Mitsubishi truck. My dad had a Datsun that he bought back in the 70s or 80s or some shit, like one of the classic Datsun pickup trucks. He got rid of that way before I was born. But like some of those little old trucks are pretty cool.
You want to see something fucking psycho?
Yeah.
Look at this shit. Because they made this in a turbo diesel with an 8-foot bed. Can you look at this truck, please?
Yeah, baby.
Oh my God, it has an 8-foot bed.
8-foot bed, single cab, Isuzu Pup.
This thing looks like the ultimate. Like if I got into like lowriders.
That would be a dope lowrider,
God.
Dude.
And for those of you who like know a decent amount about trucks, if you look where the axle's located on the bed, this thing actually, I wouldn't really want to haul a ton of shit in it, but like you could get really good load management in this truck. Like we're getting deep on some.
Yeah, the axle is actually like centrally located in the bed,
dude.
So you could probably make that thing heavy enough to handle like a little bit of ice in two-wheel drive. Just by putting a sandbag right at the back and just using like the mechanical advantage of that really long bed.
I would do such terrible things for a turbo diesel 86 Isuzu Pup 8-foot bed.
Oh, that would be sick.
I would probably take a pass on owning that, but
man.
That's
I
a
would
cool
enjoy
truck.
it if you had.
If you saw it in the wild, you'd be like, "Damn, that thing's sick."
Yeah.
I don't know, man, but see this truck. So I was not a huge fan immediately when I saw it. But it's kind of grown on me.
You're genuinely considering it?
And I'm genuinely considering it.
So, Bjorn, what is it? Is it just the hybrid over the
hybrid?
The Ranger?
I want a hybrid truck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Ranger gets like 16. It's like yours.
Yeah, no, the Ranger doesn't do that.
And it's kind of too big for a truck. I don't know. I like the size of this for if I'm living in the city.
Yeah.
But I want to drive a truck, and I want good gas mileage. I can get basically to Missoula on one tank, which is where like most of my family lives right now.
Yeah.
So one tank, I can and then like a tiny
probably
bit.
Stop in Spokane to be safe, but you only have to stop once.
Nah, dude, you stop in. You don't even have to stop in Spokane. Maybe like Coeur d'Alene. You could go pretty far.
Some tiny little podunk town if you want to.
Yeah, like. Now right now I have to stop 3 times minimum. There's no way for me to get around it. I have to stop 3 times to get there with no problem without it like where it's a little sketch.
I want to throw this up for you.
Yeah.
Because
let's
it's
see.
part of the conversation. This is like the mock-up, all the sizes. So
Yeah, like a Super Duty, an F-150, a Ranger, and a Maverick.
Yeah, so the smallest one is the Maverick. It's 68 inches, 69 inches. Yeah, nice. Tall. It's 200 tail the trotter, and the Ranger's like 10 inches longer. F-150's 30 inches longer than the Maverick, and then the 250 Super Duty 50 inches longer than the Maverick. So I think like the Ranger is like, yes, slightly bigger, but like negligible. I think it's slightly taller as well. It looks like about 2 inches taller.
Yeah.
But it's really like if you just want that super fuel efficiency, you get the Maverick. Like I don't think it does seem like they were like, okay, the Ranger's going to be like a work truck again. So it's got to be internal combustion.
Yeah.
Like
I think the big difference here is that the Ranger is like a body on frame truck.
Yeah.
This is a unibody. This is very
Talk about it.
Yeah.
Truck
What
nerd.
is that?
Yeah. So the Maverick is a unibody construction. So it's a lot more like a crossover or a car.
Exactly.
A typical like an actual truck or like a truck-based SUV like the 4Runner, the Tahoe, the Expedition, and all of the trucks other than this is they have an actual chassis that's a frame, and then they have a body that literally gets plopped down onto that. The body, like the framework of the body is the chassis, and then they put body panels on that. It's the same way that your car is. Every car has been this for 30 years.
So you're talking about, because we've mentioned this before, that was like the Pontiac Aztec, really the Breaking Bad car that Walter White drives. That was the critique of that was it was billed as like this adventure mobile, but in reality it was a minivan. It was like a bad Pontiac minivan.
That was kind of the start of crossovers. Around then they started doing unibody SUVs.
Dude, speaking of minivans, I rode in a Telluride for the first time this weekend.
Oh, really?
Talk about a Telluride. I don't know what a Telluride is.
It's the Kia Telluride. It was the most popular car for a while.
I heard that thing is actually fucking fantastic.
Dude, okay. First of all, the person driving it drives like a maniac. Like I'm not going to say who it was. It was one of my boyfriend's friends. And he had said he drove crazy, and then I got to experience it, and I was so glad I was 2 beers deep before I got into that Telluride. You know where you're like just drunk enough to be like, woo, this is like a fun ride, and not worrying about all the pedestrians they might hit.
Yeah.
Or the blinker that's still on, even though they're going straight.
Yeah.
Dude, he was hitting hills. We were in Seattle. He was like, the person who's accelerating, like, pedal to the floor just to go from one light to the next light.
Oh, yeah, I know, assholes.
And you know what I mean? And then just doing U-turns where you're not supposed to do U-turns or three-point turns.
That's a little much.
Yeah, it was a bit much, and I was just laughing in the back seat. But dang, dude, that thing's got some power. Like, we were hitting hills, and I was like, oh, there's like some power behind this thing. And it's like sitting in a van because it's got the two. It's like
the 3 rows of seats, right?
It's got the 3 rows, so it's got the third with 3, and then the 2 bucket seats in the front, just like a van. Classic van layout.
The captain chairs in the second row.
Yes.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that's why everyone's going crazy about this thing, Because it's a van, but it doesn't look like a van.
It looks really nice. It does have. It's one of the better looking new SUVs.
It is, and I like their logo update. It's very much more of a Korean looking logo than this weird like 90s logo they've been running with for a while.
Cheap little oval that says Kia.
I hate that logo so much. But the
They
new
need
like
a
NI, it looks like 9 Inch Nails or something.
It looks like KN.
Yeah, I love it.
I
does
hate
a
it.
little.
I hate the new logo.
So modern. I love it.
Ooh,
No,
But-
Can't read it.
Kia's products have definitely gotten so much better since they first came out in the U.S.
Yeah.
that I feel like they're trying to really rebrand as hard as they can
Mm-hmm.
because their product doesn't really match.
Dude, the new
They're-
minivan looks like a truck.
Yeah.
They put like this weird thing on the back, and it looks like a truck.
Well,
it looks like a
you've
truck
seen-
with a topper.
You've seen the Hyundai Santa Cruz, right? That's the Santa Cruz. Terry, look up the Hyundai Santa Cruz because that is the car that you cross-shop with the Maverick. Hyundai
Oh, really?
they made a new Subaru Baja.
Oh, really?
They did. It's called the Santa Cruz.
This is.
I'm
gross.
unaware.
That is what competes with the Maverick.
This is
I
disgusting.
thought you knew about the
I
Santa
didn't know about the Santa Cruz.
Well,
Consider
now-
yourself lucky. 'cause
No,
this
I knew
you're-
about the Santa Fe.
You're-
Oh,
Dang.
No,
that's
they've,
so
they've
bad.
got a 4-door, dude.
Oh my
Find
God.
the 4-door, Terry. Find the 4-door
Uh,
for Bjorn.
Bro, the
Oh.
4-door is not much better.
Oh, no, it is not.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because I also thought that. I was like, that's an ugly piece of garbage.
This
I
thing
hate
looks
it.
like that weird truck that they made that looked like it came out of the movie Cars. Like,
Yeah, it's this is as far from a truck
This
for
is
truck
like-
people as you can get.
the way that I feel about the Yeezy is how I feel about this quote-unquote truck.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is
It's too bendy, man.
it's a crossover SUV with
yeah,
an
they
open
took
bed.
a Sawzall to a crossover SUV.
As a guy who took a Sawzall to a Ford Econoline E350,
Of all the people I know, you are one of the
Oh,
first I would
yeah.
think of as people who would
Take a Sawzall.
create a truck out
bro,
of a
I
not
clipped
truck.
the top, fit my motorcycle in it. It was sick. It was called the Ham Van.
Okay, motorcycle. This actually is that like why would you want to drive a truck?
I don't even know anymore. But part of it is I want to be able to pull my motorcycle, and that can pull 4,000
Okay.
pounds.
'Cause-
That's what the towing capacity is on
Yeah.
it.
Now would
So
you be
I
able
could put a
to-
small trailer and pull a motorcycle.
You
I
could put a small
think.
trailer on most vehicles.
I know. I could do that on the 4Runner or not the 4Runner.
You could do it on the car that you
RAV4.
drive. Right
I
now.
could yeah. I
Right
just have
now.
to get a hitch put on it.
Mhm.
Right, but like that's kind of a tough spot because you've got a lease on that car
I know.
that's gonna be up sooner or later, and
Mhm.
it's like if you put a hitch on it, you basically just spend that
You're
money
spending the money, yeah.
to have that temporarily.
Right. So I'm not putting a hitch on it is my
Yeah.
plan. And
So-
I'm kind of like looking at what's my next car going to
Yeah.
be. And right now, as it stands,
Mm-hmm.
it's between the Ford Maverick and the Toyota RAV4 Prime.
And those actually are two vehicles that pretty directly compete with each other.
I really feel like it's kind of like, do I want to have an open bed or do I want to have one that I'm probably going to get a topper for anyways? And so it's like, I might
I'm
as well
so
just
glad
get
you're
the-
presenting all of my arguments. Do you know how much those things cost for a
The RAV4
new
Prime?
No, a topper. Like if you go and buy like a Lear canopy,
$2,630.
it sounds
That's
like
how
you
much
know
they
too
cost.
well. Yeah.
Nick knows how much they
You want to know how
cost.
much I paid for mine? I'm not saying this is a flex.
I'm
No, it's
guessing
all right.
you paid $0 on Craigslist.
$40.
Yeah, but did someone else put it on, and was it color matched to your truck?
Technically, it's
Exactly.
color matched to my truck.
Did they write down the paint
Both of-
code and make sure?
Hey,
Yeah, Krylon Black, I think was the paint code.
hey, my
Well, mine was midnight black metallic.
That
So
sounds expensive.
No, it's
My
nice.
Ranger-
My shit has carpet in the headliner.
No, I know. Yours,
removable
I'm not
window.
trying to compare and contrast.
Yo.
Dude, my shit hooks up to my button. I can lock it with the button when I lock the rest
Ooh.
of my truck.
Well,
That's
my topper for my Ranger was for a Tacoma, so it was not the same size at all. And I got it, and it was black, and my Ranger was forest green. So
thank you for reminding me.
I got that for free from Preston. Preston.
Yeah, you're the one that got one for free.
He was like, yeah, I've had this on Craigslist for like, I don't know, 2 years. And if you just come get it from the High Cascade offices,
like, this is your problem now. Yeah,
you can just keep it. And I was like, oh my, I was so hyped. I was so hyped. And
I was gonna say it was after I already got mine, and like luckily I have a truck that I could do whatever I want to.
Oh, it would have been perfect on your truck.
Well, what I was gonna say is I am really falling in love with like the Panda truck look with like a white truck but black lid, or even like Andrew had that old 250. He had a red lid, and it reminded me of I've said this on the show a million times, like the Blazers that are white with like a red check.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. I'm just like, oh, that's cool, like an accent color on the canopy.
It worked. It didn't like I remember he was like, yeah, just put it on, see if it works. I mean, it was a couple inches too far
over
off the end, and like it never quite fit, but you know what? It worked pretty well. Yeah. It never locked or anything like that. Which made it, I mean, it was always kind of sketchy leaving anything back there.
Yeah.
But it was whatever. It worked for me. I loved it. I used it a lot. It had the access, like the side pieces.
Oh, those are
the
cool.
Like toolbox shit.
Yeah,
those are a thing that I didn't want to pay extra for on mine.
I would say don't put it on there because it just made the entire car accessible all the time.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I was like, this is more things that make it easier and enticing for someone to try to break into my shit. I mean, and it's more money, and it's not something I was going to use.
You street park. I was living in Montana, so I was like, whatever. Yeah. It's nice to be able to actually access the beginning of my truck bed.
One thing that I feel like you should look into is with the Maverick, would you be able to drop the tailgate, drive your bike into the bed, and then have your bike in the bed of the truck? Because if you could transport your bike in the bed of that, like with the tailgate down, which I think you possibly
you can
could.
Definitely do that.
I think I could do that.
You'd have to measure because it has like a 4-foot bed, which is
the way that
really tiny.
Here's the way that it works. You're technically not really supposed to have weight on your tailgate like that. Mm-hmm. So like with my 6-foot truck, I can get all my bikes in. Some of them are like a little closer to the end than I'd really prefer, but yeah, you don't really want to have a lot of resting weight on your tailgate like that.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Like
you can get tailgate extenders that are that give you a little more resilience, but you would probably want to go like diagonal, you know?
Okay. Oh, yeah, and then put it. It did. I was looking at a lot of videos and stuff. They have these little like things that come out that you can attach to the tailgate.
Yeah, the bed extender, basically.
Yeah. There's a bed extender. There's a bed extender, but there's also a thing that's like these cables that are in it that come up and attach.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And the thing that I was looking at that's interesting is they have it attaches a little higher, but it matches the wheel wells, so you can put like a sheet of plywood level in the back. Okay. Is basically what it's the purpose of that. I was just like looking at a bunch of shit. I was like, I don't know. I probably just honestly, probably still going to get the RAV4 Prime.
Get the RAV4 Prime, please, please.
Because that's probably what I'm going to land on. Today I was looking at it, I was like, oh man, this thing gets like.
The Maverick, though.
I'm going to test drive it. I'm going to see.
No. You know that you don't want him to drive a Maverick.
Oh, I don't care.
Why not? Talk me out of it. I
don't really want him to drive a RAV4 Prime either.
I think that you can't get the Maverick and go half-cocked. I think you got to go. If you want to get a truck, so here's the thing. Ford makes a bunch of other hybrid or electric versions.
Right.
They're more expensive.
They do an F-150.
The F-150 Lightning is going to be an insane truck. Like, for people that live in a city and aren't like just trying to like rock crawl or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think that is the electric truck to get like as they develop.
A new one.
I mean, the Tundra.
Just teased today, Toyota is making an electric Tacoma in a few years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They just did.
I mean, they're all going to do it.
They just did their like reveal of the concept. It basically looks like they kind of updated the styling on the 3rd gen and then made it electric.
Countries are literally saying that like in the next 10 to 20 years, they're banning internal combustion engine cars.
It's like 2035. It's a wrap.
It's going to happen. My bones to pick with the Maverick is 4-foot bed. Get the fuck out of here.
Agreed.
Like, it's absurd. And I think you're better off getting a 6-foot trailer and pulling it with a RAV4.
Oh, that's a good point.
And also, like, I don't know how the price stacks up, but the idea of buying a truck in Portland, and I say this as a truck driver in Portland, like, you're going to have a canopy on it for 10 months of the year if you want anything in the back to stay dry. So you got to factor that in. I do think that, like, if you're counting out the Ranger because it's not available in like an alternative like power option, then the F-150, not the Lightning, you can get in a hybrid as well.
Yeah,
that's
so
true.
And I think the F-150 bone stock is like, so Ranger's like 30, F-150's 40 or something like that.
Yeah.
And
you
then
can get into an F-150 for well under 40, but it's really, really bare bones.
Yeah. Like, I pulled up one XLT, the whole thing. It's looking like estimated out the door 37.
There's also the Tundra that's a hybrid that's coming out next year.
But here's the thing. And I've said this to you before, but my plea to you is like, bro, you don't need a truck.
No, I don't.
Like, and I think if you're looking for reasons to get the truck, you're really bringing on potential like downsides that you don't want to have to deal with. Because the RAV4 seats, what?
5.
Just a standard 5 with like a big extended back?
Yeah.
I don't think it has a third row.
No.
I think it's a
it doesn't
smaller than his car.
It's a little smaller cargo space than
mine.
mine.
The RAV4 is a really, really small SUV.
And especially the 2022 of mine, it's basically a Nissan Rogue. They like squared it out, and it looks a little different. It actually literally uses parts from the Nissan Rogue because they combined companies. I was reading
Mitsubishi and Nissan.
Yeah, like they're manufacturers.
Okay.
So they use a lot of the same
I'll
parts.
throw this up real quick.
The new.
That's the RAV4.
Yeah, that's the
Prime.
RAV4 Prime. Here's literally the only thing I don't like about the RAV4 Prime, or the RAV4. I see it. It is the highest selling car in the country right now.
You know what that means?
The most
cheap
common
parts. Everybody knows how to work on it.
True.
Bro, you
I like that.
You cannot have like a sneaker mentality with your cars.
Oh,
like,
I know, but I'm just being honest. Like, the thing that's making me not like it as much is how often I'm seeing it.
The fact that the flip side of that with the Prime is it's kind of like the Tacoma in that it's a really sought after vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, everybody has it, but still that means that everybody knows what it is. And everybody knows how hard it is to get.
Yeah.
That's
well,
true.
I
so
think
like with the Tacoma, there is kind of like a sneaker feel driving that around where I'm like,
you're just
dude,
like,
I
fucking
got one, bro.
Yeah. I got a W.
because they're hard to get. That is true.
And I got a good one. I got the off-road with the long bed. I got like the fucking off-white. Actually, the off-white is the TRD Pro. I got the Yeezy.
I think with the RAV4,
Not the limited.
Nobody gives a fuck about the limited. That doesn't have a locking diff. If you don't have a locking diff and you got a Tacoma, what are you doing, bro?
What are you doing? I think, well, the other thing you got to keep in mind is, like, there's ways to dress these cars up. You can buy wheels. You can, like, do things to your car to kind of seprate it from the crowd.
Yeah, dude, you could get a giant wing on your RAV4.
This is the color I want. The gray with the black roof.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. That's the one that I'm looking at. The dark. This one right here.
One's...
Oh, the more like graphite.
Yep, that one.
Oh,
that's the one I want.
that's a good color.
That's the one I want, and I like it because it's got the blacked out emblems, which I think is sick.
Honestly, here's my what I think you should get, Bjorn.
Yeah,
is a Tacoma.
The Tacoma.
Yeah, I know the gas mileage isn't good.
I'm not gonna hit the boo this man button, but
everything
keep going.
about it, like everything that you like about trucks, is like the Tacoma's kind of.
Yeah, but the 0 to 60 in this thing.
Yeah.
6 seconds.
Yeah, it's a SUV.
6 seconds. I drove your car.
That's pretty quick.
I drove your car.
Oh, my truck is way slower than that.
7 seconds is what the Maverick is, by the way.
Yeah, my truck is probably 9.
9 or 10.
It's a truck, though, so I don't really need it to go anywhere. It passes people. I've hit 100 in it. I did it just to see that it would.
I don't think I've done that in my truck.
I was in eastern Montana, and I was like, you know what? I can see 5 miles down this road, and there's no one. Let's see if I'll hit 100, and it easily made it up 100%.
There.
It hit 100. I said, okay, cool, it can do that.
You're like, yep, done. Check.
And I've hit 90 something, passing people on 2-lane roads a couple times because I needed to.
That stuff, like that's what I got a bike for.
No.
It's motorcycle
just
for
if
it.
you need to pass somebody,
I know.
it's nice to have.
Well, and that's how I always hit the high speeds on my bike. Is like I go to pass some fucking prick,
Yeah,
and then they're like, "Oh, I don't think so."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I think so."
Oh, I know so, bud.
But like, I've definitely like started to like max it, like just get diminished returns on the throttle, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
Where it's like hitting the end of a gear.
I'm like, the 1200 would be kind of nice right now. And then I bought one, so great.
All right, so Terry, you think the RAV4 Prime is what I should go with?
I think the RAV4 Prime is like right in your wheelhouse. It's basically a nicer version of the current car that you've been driving for the last how many years?
3 years.
And how many times in the last 3 years have you asked me to borrow my truck? 3 times?
3 times, yeah. 3 times.
Do you know how much you have to pay to rent a truck from U-Haul for a single day? $20.
Yeah.
It says it right on the side of the truck.
Yeah, that's true.
I think like if you, because that's the thing that I always the appeal that I make to people is like, yes, there might be a time in which you would need this.
Yeah.
And there's other options for that. Like, do you want to prioritize the once a year I need a truck over the 364 days that you're like, I want a nice vehicle to drive in that gets great mileage. The dog fits in awesome. Like, it's not like a ordeal.
You're totally right. And you know where you won me over?
What's that?
I'm just gonna get it with a hitch.
Get it with a hitch and put it. I'm gonna get a trailer for my truck.
'Cause
like
straight
trailers
up,
are.
I
sick.
forgot my last Outlander. I put a trailer on it. You know how much it is to rent a trailer? Like $10 a day. And it doesn't matter if you keep it for a month. It's only like it's so cheap. I totally forgot about that. Towing capacity on this is way higher than the Maverick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done because the distance on this is like 500 miles, and it's got the plug-in part. And hopefully, at some point, I get a place where I can plug it in at night.
Yeah, it is fully $10,000+ more money, but. It is a better vehicle.
Oh, suddenly Nick Scalzone cares about the price tag.
No,
interesting.
I'm just being a contrarian.
Well, here's the thing. I gotta buy the mid
car for you.
I gotta buy the mid or whatever base model of this versus the Lorette. I'm getting the top. I'm getting
Maverick.
Everything. I'm getting
honestly,
sunroofs.
The base model of this probably comes with as much as the Lorette.
There's way more
Maverick.
bells and whistles on that thing.
Yeah.
The base model has the thing that displays the speed you're going on the screen. The heads-up display. It's like a laser thing that shows it on the windshield.
Yeah, my mom's Prius has that. It's pretty
Shit's
cool.
wild. Here's where I was like maybe on the Maverick.
Yeah.
Is because I was looking at the Prius. I hate the way the Prius looks. It's too feminine. I would never drive it.
Car.
I really don't like it. Why don't they make it in a hatchback? If they made it in a hatchback, I'd be totally sold.
I'm sure they make it in a hatchback.
Not anymore.
They're not that fun.
Not the new one.
I
none of the new ones
for a little bit. I had a blast. It was definitely like novelty. And like, here's the thing. You know what hooked me?
What?
The fucking fuel mileage thing that they put in the dash.
Yeah.
It gamified driving so much for me.
It does have a lot of fun things to watch because you're so bored with the driving experience.
Oh my God.
But I've driven my mom's Prius like a shitload.
I should also say this, very similar to my approach to shoes.
Yeah.
I love driving every fucking car.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care what it is. I legitimately, like, if money was not a thing, I would have a Geo Metro just to, like, whip around the neighborhood.
Yeah. You know what's a really cool little car? My girlfriend just got a new car. She got a Mazda 3, a 2010 Mazda 3 hatchback with the stick, 6-speed manual.
Oh, let's go.
And it's a fast little car. It's a 2.5 liter. It's like 170 horse, which is not crazy, but in that little car,
in a little,
goes.
You said 2-door or 4-door?
4-door.
Yeah.
But it's got the 6-speed is geared right. Everything, like the clutch is light. The shifter just jumps right into gear.
When are we going to get you in a Roadster? When are we going to get you an actual fun car to drive? Because, like, don't get me wrong, the Tacoma's got nut. But
that's half the reason I bought the Tacoma. Is the Tacoma is the truck. It's super useful.
Yeah.
Like if I need to take a group of people somewhere, I got 5 seats. They're comfortable. If I need to go up in the hills, need to go on some dirt roads, I got big tires. I'll make it. Now my next vehicle can be something stupid. That was and I've got it's the most reliable car ever. It's Toyota.
You're just limited by your housing situation.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, unless you're going to pay another, $200-300, if not more, bucks for a garage.
Yeah.
Like, but
No,
I
no,
could.
no.
I need
car.
to make like solidly $40,000 more a year and buy a house and pay off.
No, you don't.
current
You
truck.
could buy a house right now with your current salary.
No, I couldn't.
This is a good
100%
off-mic
I
conversation.
I'm not going to disclose
More than
my
I
salary,
could.
but I guarantee I can't buy a house. I could buy a small shitty condo. If I want to pay what I pay in rent as my mortgage, which is arguably more than I should be paying as either rent or a mortgage,
Right.
I can afford a small one-bedroom condo in this town.
We should wrap this conversation up
Yeah.
because when I tell you about my situation, you're going to be like,
You're
oh,
gonna be
fuck.
I
Are
could
you
get
kidding?
lucky. But if I want to pay, like, I go on Zillow all the time. I get
Uh-huh.
bored. I know what houses cost. And I can't afford them.
This is a new.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm going to talk you into
All
a
right.
house.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta
do
get
it.
out.
I'm
We
excited
gotta
for
get
that.
out of. We gotta
All
get
right.
out of here.
Yeah.
Because
Terry-
it's the new off-topic, new conversation
That'll be the next
that we're
one,
breaking
yeah.
into.
Renting versus owning.
renting versus owning.
Oh, that is a good conversation.
This was awesome. I'm gonna take us out real quick. We got new episodes. This is our off topic. We got new episodes of this every Friday, but regular episodes we have every Wednesday. You can follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. We actually have video on both Spotify and YouTube now. And follow us on our social media, Size 10 Podcasts. We post new episodes, everything, and we do. We've been voting on shoes and stuff, so check it out. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right, bye.
That's for us picking your new car. That's great.